doing it? Jody Coleman, your host of Against the Grain Sports. We're here to my right. We got Jason Coleman.
What's going on, man?
Our college football analyst. To my left, we got Byron Parker, our NBA analyst of Against the Grain Sports. We're sorry that we kept y'all waiting so long, but it's March Madness, but we're going to talk about football and the free agent society and all the frenzy that's going on this year that we didn't have this time last year because of the strike.
Right.
But we're back right on time, right before the draft. A lot's going on. So I'm going to start here to the right, and the burning question that everybody been asking, ESPN, all the people out here wondering where Peyton Manning's going to land at. We eliminated the Miami Dolphins, and we have eliminated the Arizona Cardinals. They're going back with Kevin Cobb. What are the teams? It's a three-team race. What do you think he's going to land?
As of right now, I think he's going towards Tennessee. Originally, I think he's going towards Tennessee. Like, he has ties to the state, being UT grad. His wife's from Memphis, and he has the revenge factor going against the Colts again twice a year. Also, Tennessee does have a lot of talent. They did go 9-7 last year. They got Chris Johnson. They have Kenny Britt coming back from a knee injury. They have Lavelle Hawkins. They have Nate Washington from wide out. You can kind of bring in Donald Clark if they're filling in for that tight end spot. So I think the things are lining up for Tennessee, and plus Bud Adams gave him a check and said sign it. Just put the money you want on there, and I'll sign it. So I think he's going towards Tennessee.
Okay.
I think for all the factors you said, I think San Francisco would be 1A and probably be 1B. But I think 1A for San Francisco because number one, I think they would like to bring Peyton Manning and new stage out the deal in 2 years. Number two, you got a great defense, stifling defense, and you got Crabtree, Vernon Davis, Randy Moss. It's a nice combination. And you don't forget the running game you could bring along, so that makes Peyton Manning's life a little easy. You can pound that ball. And I think for the Denver's case, it's more John Elway. If John Elway can manipulate his way and say, look, we got Pat Bowman to give you a check. Wherever you want, and wherever you want to bring the deal, we'll bring it.
Well, I'm going to go with the 49ers. I think the 49ers is a great place for him to land. We didn't mention a lot about the defense, but they're one of the top scoring defenses. They're going to cause a lot of turnovers. Plus, and this is the X factor, is this. They have the weakest division in all the sports. So the 49ers can win their division by week 10.
And put another fact that there's just one game from the Super Bowl.
My thing is
one fumble away from the Super Bowl.
The scary thing about the 49ers is, can Jim Harbaugh and Peyton Manning coexist? We know Harbaugh is a control freak. Peyton Manning is a control freak. Can those two guys get together and coexist to allow Peyton Manning to run his offense? Because Harbaugh was calling all the plays. And you see what he did to Alex Smith, who's definitely been an underachiever for his whole career. He turned him into a borderline Pro Bowl candidate, but you had three quarterbacks in the NFC who threw for 5,000 yards.
And still one didn't make it. Matthew Stafford still didn't make it.
Right.
So, but I think they possibly can, because when winning is involved, anybody can coexist.
One more thing I think to mention. Peyton Manning did replace Jim Harbaugh in Indianapolis too. I thought about that.
Is that a personal issue? I don't know. Nobody knew who the quarterback was before he left. I asked a question, all the Indianapolis Colts fans. I said, who was the quarterback before Peyton Manning? Y'all don't know. He just told you the answer.
Hey, but let's not forget Pittsburgh, the Hail Mary.
Who cares about Pittsburgh? Anyway, I know it's a lot of Steeler Nation out here watching. Who cares about you? I'm just playing. I'm just joking. Y'all gonna kill me for that one. But we're gonna keep going. What's the ripple effect? The ripple effect, because everybody's waiting for Peyton Manning to sign. So the next quarterback that everybody's worried about, because Kyle Orton signing with the Cowboys, which is, I don't understand. I love Tony Romo. That's my quarterback. I'm just saying. I don't know what the effects is going to be with the quarterbacks. But now the next quarterback up is Matt Flynn, and I'm gonna ask you, where do you think Matt Flynn lands?
I think it's all for Miami Dolphins because the coach, offensive coordinator, I think the way they're gonna scheme it around him, how Green Bay did Aaron Rodgers, they're gonna put it around for Matt Flynn, no question.
I say Miami as well, but Miami fans, buyer beware. We've been down this road before. Y'all remember Scott Mitchell?
Yeah, one of the biggest busts in all time history.
Buyer beware. I think he just headed to Miami with Joe Philbin being the coach, and doing the scheme. I think he is headed to Miami, but like I said, buyer beware.
Here's my dark horse. I think he's going to end up in a Seattle uniform. I think that Seattle has a lot of stuff that can cater to Matt Flynn's ability. He has Sidney Rice to be healthy this year. He signed Marshawn Lynch to a nice, healthy deal. They have a very solid offensive line, and they're very underrated defense. And once again, it's the division factor. It's not a very productive division outside of the 49ers. So I think you can go in, you can win 10 games easy in that division. You probably lose to the 49ers, but you can go 4-2 in that division easy. I think Matt Flynn will be comfortable in that round.
undersell the AFC and the NFC West. I think it's definitely improving. You got to look at the moves the Rams have been making.
The Rams?
I'm serious.
Are we talking about the Rams?
No, seriously. If you look at the Rams, the Rams, they're one playmaker away. I mean, they keep Stan Bradford upright. They're one playmaker away. You got Steven Jackson. Their defense is pretty solid, led by the little animal James Laurinaitis and Chris Long. I mean, don't undersell the Rams with Jeff Fisher in there. You know, Jeff Fisher is one of the best.
Quinn had 5 sacks.
And you got Robert Quinn, who might come around. You know, Jeff Fisher gets the most out of his defense ends. Look at Javon Curse, James Hall. You have to look at, don't undersell the Rams they're going to be a lot better because I think you bring the Jeff Fisher factor in as healthy Sam Bradford.
Don't forget Cole Penning.
Also, Courtney Pickens.
They still the Rams. So we're going to continue on, and we're going to talk about the free agency. And I'm going to go with Jason on this one with the number 1 free agent on the board. He signed the richest contract for any defensive player in NFL history. Last time this happened, the guy's name was Albert Hainsworth, and he didn't quite produce with the Washington Redskins. Are we going to have that effect again with Mario Williams?
With Mario Williams, I think going to Buffalo is a solid move. I think they had to clean up the cash, first of all, because you're Buffalo. You're Buffalo.
You're Buffalo.
I'm sorry, you're Buffalo. It gets cold there. But I think, with the defense that they already had in place, they just needed kind of a pass rusher. They swung and missed big with Aaron Maven in the draft.
Yeah. But he's producing with the Jets.
He's producing with the Jets because he got Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan, Rex Ryan gets the best out of linebackers like that. But I think, Mario Williams going to Buffalo gives them a solid defensive line. Kick Marcel Darius inside. You got Kyle Williams. You find another guy who can just kind of anchor the run on the left-hand side, Spencer Johnson. But I think, him signing with Buffalo could help them have a great effect, and you gotta get Peyton Manning to beat him. You gotta rush. Even though you're beating
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. To beat him, and you got Sanchez. You don't know what you can get out of Sanchez, and Miami is Miami. So it's a solid move for them to avoid falling into the trap that they fell into the last 2 years.
Yeah, to stay healthy. How do you feel about the move? What do you think about the richest contract in defensive history?
All good pointers. I think he gives them identity. Because they never had that established in Buffalo. You could bring an identity, you could lead by example. That's what you need in Buffalo, because when you look at Buffalo, like, who's this team? You go from here to Toronto every other, few games every year, like, you need to establish identity in the NFL. Every team got an identity. Broncos, certain teams, they got identity.
Right.
That's what you got to establish in the NFL.
And that's a good point because Mario Williams can't be the face of the franchise for the Buffalo Bills because they haven't had one since Bruce Smith, Jim Kelly, those days. Even though they won a couple went to playoff games a couple times with Doug Flutie, it really wasn't a guy. They really missed big with Rob Johnson, and people don't realize one of the biggest busts in NFL history at quarterback was Rob Johnson. People don't remember that from the Buffalo Bills in the early 2000s.
Not with Scott Mitchell. I mean, they had Scott Mitchell replacing Dan Marino.
And that's the problem. That was the problem. At least he only replaced Doug Flutie. I mean, Flutie flakes. What are we talking about here?
But I think, like you're saying, go back to the Buffalo point. I mean, it's been 13 years. As a suffering Bengals fan, I kind of feel your pain. But hey, we missed the playoffs 2 out of the last 3 years, so I don't feel that pain.
We ain't got to the Bengal part of this show, and all you Bengal fans, you see this back here? Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. All right, we're going to continue on now. We're going to talk about another free agent, then we're going to go to the free agent that y'all feel like was a big splash. Well, I want to talk about this Vincent Jackson signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was a big play threat. He never really ran great routes, but now Josh Freeman has a big target. He's a number 1. How do you feel about the Vincent Jackson signing?
And then don't forget with Vincent Jackson, people forgot Mario Manningham signed with the Bucs too.
Oh wow, that's good inside stuff. Let me take my BlackBerry.
I think you get that combination because Josh Freeman last year didn't really have no legit weapons other than Penn and the other rookies. So you can bring Vincent Jackson to teach the kids. Look, this is gonna be a tough division this year. You got the Falcons ain't going nowhere. Carolina Panthers is on a rise. They ever get a defense together, they could be a 9-1, 10-win team. And you can't forget the Saints. Saints is still a 10, 11-win team every year.
They don't have to score about 600 points a game. Right. With the game, I don't think no defensive player is going to be eligible to play.
No, but I think he gives them a chance now.
Absolutely.
He gives them a chance now to say, you know what, now you can do that, which they did with Vincent Jackson. Now they can go out and get the running back.
Right.
Go out and get him back.
And they got the 6th pick in the draft. Number 5 pick in the draft. So Trent Richardson may be available at the number 5 pick, but we'll get to that later.
Correct.
How do you feel about the Vincent Jackson?
I think it's a solid move. I think he kind of got overpaid, but I think it's a solid move because it gives Josh Freeman, four legit weapons. You got Aurelius Ben, you got Mike Williams, you got Kellen Winslow, Jr., whatever he wants to be called. Vincent Jackson. You got the big bruiser on LeVarrette Blount, who wore down towards the end of the year, but like you said, you get Trenton Richardson in there, give him a change of pace back. But the thing that concerns me, Vincent Jackson is another DUI for being suspended for 6 games.
So that can be a very Tampa, Florida. They usually do well with their players, like getting them in the system and keeping them out of trouble. But I want to go ahead and touch on this before the end of this segment. I want to touch on this, and I'm gonna go ahead. It's gonna be Jason. So you and the top quarterbacks outside of Andrew Luck. We're gonna kind of change. We're gonna shift to the draft. Being short and sweet. Outside of Luck and RG3, they're gonna go 1 and 2. Who is another quarterback we need to be paying attention to?
You want to keep an eye on Ryan Tannehill out of Texas A&M. Looks like he may be in play for Cleveland. He may be in play for Seattle. But it seems like he's worked his way into the first round. He was a former receiver, but he's switched back to the quarterback position. You can keep an eye out for Ryan Tannehill. Keep an eye out for Nick Foles out of Arizona. Also keep an eye out for I can't think of the other quarterback's name. I apologize for that. But I'll say Ryan Tannehill and Nick Foles are 2 quarterbacks you want to keep your eye out for.
I think I go with you. I like the kid from Oklahoma State, and I like the kid from Arizona. I got my eyes on him.
I forgot about Brandon.
He's about 40 years old.
But you got to think about it. He's ordering 15 stars in the NFL.
Exactly.
But he can come in and produce.
Absolutely.
And
He's a former baseball player.
And I think if the Broncos do not get Peyton Manning, that's who the kid they should draft 2nd round.
Oh, you got Tim Tebow, and you still want to. Why they don't like Tim Tebow? Let that kid play. Let him play against the grain sports. The kid ain't do nothing but win. But anyway, we're going to keep going. Top running back outside of Trent Richardson, who should we pay attention to?
I like the kid from Miami, Florida. That's what I got my eye on.
What's his name?
James.
Oh, you talking about James?
He's also the back out of Lamar Miller out of Miami, Florida. Solid running back. And then you got to look at David Wilson out of Virginia Tech. Keep an eye on David Wilson. And Michael James, of course, out of Oregon.
That's what I was thinking. The Michael James, he's going to be a steal in the 2nd or 3rd round. Justin Blackman, we know about him. Well, who else do we need to worry about as a emerging wide receiver?
Emerging wide receiver right now, moving up a lot of boards is Michael Floyd out of Notre Dame. The guy is probably the best high point guy in college football. And right now, I'm hearing he might go to 10 with the Bills. But also another guy you want to keep an eye on is for Kendall Wright and Stephen Hill, who's moving up boards with us combine workout.
I think the kid out of South Carolina, no one's not talking about him.
Lattimore, yeah.
No one's not talking about him. And I like the kid out of Baylor.
I'm sorry, Jeffries. Not Lattimore. Lattimore will be there next year running back. Sorry. I'll find Jeffries.
The kid Jeffries, but I like the kid out of Baylor. I think if the boy can go out and put out a good workout for certain teams, his tracks going to stock up.
Short and sweet. Give me a defensive player that's going to be drafted right away and be able to produce. Give me one or two guys.
I like the kid from North Carolina.
With Couples.
Name you should look out for is Michael Blocker, defensive tackle out of LSU. 20 years old, body still growing. Definitely was an impact player on the #1 ranked defense in the league until they went down there.
My guy is Wynton Marsalis, kid out of Illinois, Big Ten, defensive player of the year. I think that you got to really take a look at this guy. He has a big frame, long arms. He'd be able to be a pass rush. Remind you a lot of Mario Williams. Don't sleep on him as a late 1st round pick. Check him out.
Let me throw another name at you guys. Nick Perry out of USC. Guy can get flat out go. He played with his hand up. He stand up, play with his hand in the dirt. The guy can flat out go. I think his times are going to wow a lot of people out of Detroit, Michigan. He was one of the last guys. Carroll came to the Midwest and pulled out and got to USC. But keep an eye out for Nick Perry.
10 seconds. Give me closing.
I think the draft is going to be unique. It depends on the schemes.
I think with this draft is definitely going to be a lot of impact players that are ready to play. So just keep an eye out.
Once again, it's Against the Grain Sports. We'll be right back at you, giving you more shows, giving you more stuff. This is what we do. I'm your host, Jody Coleman. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube. Peace.